Hi boys and girls, and welcome to the revision section of our exam prep for ICT. Okay guys, so I'm going to be going through various things here on Purple Mash with you guys with regards to coding so that you guys are properly prepared for the exam. Okay, now for the exam as well, all of your coding will be done in free code. Okay, so if you are on your home page, you are going to click on coding. Okay, then you are going to click onto code. As you can see here, there it says free code on this one. You're going to click on free code, and we are going to work on the first level here because that's the stuff that you guys have been doing throughout the term. So free code chimp, you are going to click on that one. Okay, now once you get into free code, okay guys, it'll have quite a few commands here on the left. Okay, so these are the basic ones that it starts off with. So these are the basic commands that you have that you can use for all of your programming needs. Okay, now with your exam, as most of you have already done the revision exercise in class, okay, it is written instructions that you need to follow the steps, and that in turn creates your coding. Okay, now as I said, I'm going to be going through the basic stuff with you guys. Okay, so one of the first things that we are going to start off with is your background. Okay, now the background is obviously the picture that is set in the background. Okay, now if it says that you need to set the background or you eventually then change the background and the timer, okay, this is the one that you are going to use. So you are going to click on background and drag it across into your basics, okay, for your coding lines. You will select image, okay, and then you are going to click on the question mark until this appears. Now here you have all of your various different backgrounds, okay, and you can then select whichever background you want. So if you then go into your actual coding, you'll see there is your background. Okay, now one of the next things that we need to look at is characters and their design. Okay, now to include characters, as you can see, you currently do not have any characters. So you will have to click here at the top on design, and then there the characters appear. Okay, now we can drag a certain character across and place it onto our coding screen. Now, as you can see, once your character is dragged in, you will have this menu here on the left with the various details about the character. Now, you'll see there it says the name, and currently it says My Princess 1. Okay, now you can edit that and change the name to whatever you want it to be. Okay, so that is how you will change the name. If you want to completely change the name, you can just erase everything. The block will turn red, and then you can just type in whatever you want, and there your character now has a new name. Okay, then next thing is the scale. Now the scale is obviously the size of your character. You can decrease the size or increase the size by using the arrows once you've clicked on it, just to make your character a bit bigger or a bit smaller. Okay, now here where it says image, okay, and then there's a little picture of your character. If you double click there, okay, it'll open up a completely new section for you. Okay, now here you can select a different character. Okay, now for instance, this character, all of these characters fall under the grouping coding fairy tales. If you click on that downward facing arrow, it'll open up a whole lot of different groupings. Okay, so for instance, if we click on spooky, okay, as you can see here, you have a bat or a zombie or a Frankenstein for that matter, and a mummy and the vampires and all of those things. You can also, for instance, if we click on robots, and here we have all of the various different robots. Okay, so if you click on that one, as you can see now, my image has changed. So my character has changed. So you've now put in a new character. And then I can even rename it if I really want to make it my robot. Okay. Now, so guys, this is where you add characters into your story, for instance. Okay. So if I want to create another hero character, insert that character, and then change my picture to a different form of a hero. I can change it to any one of these. So let's maybe use this one. Okay. So as you can see now, the character has also changed. Now, if you then exit your design mode, you'll see that your characters are there and the names that you gave them. Everything is there. Okay. Now, guys, do remember, okay, with the coding, you have done the movement keys and stuff. For instance, if we insert our robot there and you tell it to go right, now the minute that you go into your story, you'll see there your robot starts moving towards the right hand side. Okay. Now, we have other things that we can use here as well. For instance, the when key command. So if we drag that one across, okay, this command is for basically for coding, for telling it that if you press a certain key on the keyboard, it has to perform a function. So we can, for instance, tell it that if we press the up key, you want your hero to move up. And then we can do the same for down, for left, and for right. Okay. Because this way, if we do it, for instance, like what I'm doing here in the example, you can control the way that your hero moves in the story or in your coding, for instance. Okay. Now, guys, for instance, this you might find this in the exam. Okay, but remember, if it says insert when key command, it's this one that you are going to use. Okay, and now my coding has started to freak out a little bit. Okay, but yeah, it's okay. Okay, so this one we need to put away. Okay, I'll get to that in a bit. But for now, your superhero, now mine isn't going to work because of that line of coding. Okay, hopefully I can get it into the dustbin there. Thank you. Now, as you can see, so if I now start pressing keys on my keyboard, my superhero moves in the direction that I press the key. Okay. So that is your when key command. Okay, guys. Now, another one that we have then is the when clicked. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I drag that across. And I then say that when I click on my robot, I want my robot to stop moving. Okay, so I can still move my superhero around. He will carry on until, well, he's not going to stop now because we don't have that coding. But if I click on my robot, he stops moving. Okay, because that is what I told the robot to do. Okay. So we have now had a look at the basics for background and basic movement, and then the when key commands and when clicked. Another one we have is collision. Okay, so if we put that in, just make sure, guys, that your order is correct here. So if we tell it that when the superhero collides with the robot, we want our superhero to stop moving, for instance, and we want the robot to change his image. And then maybe if we select something different here, we want the robot to turn into a red bubble. Okay, so now the robot is going to start moving, and you can move your superhero. If he then collides with the robot, our superhero stops moving, and as you see, the robot turned into a bubble. Okay, so please remember the collide one is for when one character collides with another character and then something else happens. Okay, because as you can see here, we had to put that line of coding in because it left it there for us. Okay, so guys, the collision one is also one that we will also be using quite a bit, and especially in the exam as well. Another thing that is very important is the timer. Okay, guys, your timer command is very, very, very important. Okay, now please do remember that if your exam instructions say to you that you need to insert a timer, it doesn't say anything about when or where or what, it just says insert a timer. You will literally insert your timer straight after everything else. So as in there will, as you can see, there's a space in between it. So that is a new command line for your coding. But if the instruction says insert a timer after, it has to be with that specific one that they are referring to. So if you had in the exam the instruction that says insert a timer after the hero has stopped moving, okay, you will insert your timer there after the hero has stopped moving. Okay, so as you can see here now, it is immediately underneath there where the hero has stopped moving. Okay, and it forms part of the collision block. Okay, so we can then set our timing for, let's say, for after 3 seconds, and then we can have our hero. Let's make the hero disappear. Okay, so if we now click on the play button and we move our hero down, he will collide with him, stop moving, and then after 3 seconds the hero disappears, because that is what our coding told him to do. Okay, but guys, as you can see, that is for when it says after. If we have a timer that we insert on its own, okay, and let's make this one, let's give it 5 seconds, and then we can tell it to change our background image, and we set our background image to, let's say, that picture over there. Okay, now that timer will tell it that irrespective of what we've done here, after 5 seconds the background image needs to change. So we can let everything just carry on its own. Our characters can move, and then as you can see, after 5 seconds the background image automatically changed. Okay, so guys, that is the big difference between putting timing in after something or merely putting in timing on its own. Okay, now another thing that we can also do is you can make your characters speak. Okay, as you can see here, I just inserted the robot character and there is a speak command. So if you click on that one, it'll tell you what they are going to say, and you can change this by clicking there, taking out those words, and then typing in whatever you want to type in. Okay, so if you want him to say hi in a weird way for 3 seconds, okay, if you then click on the play button, you will immediately say what you wanted him to say, and then after 3 seconds it disappears. Okay, then guys, another thing that is very important is the print to screen and the repeat function. Now normally these two go together. Okay, now if we put in the print to screen function, okay, whatever you are going to type in here, let's make it something like I love ICT. Okay, if you click on your play button, you'll see it will appear up there at the top, and it will, because that has, you've told it to print to the screen, so it'll appear there. Now the repeat function on it, okay, if we include the repeat function on that, if we tell it here to repeat 5 times, it is going to repeat that printing 5 times on your screen. Okay, and then finally our sounds. Okay, so normally we will have, if you have the sound on its own, okay, if you have your earphones on, if we just put that sound on its own, okay, the minute that you go into your coding, that sound will play. But if we take that sound now and we include it in our timer, it will only play once your timer has started. Okay, so we won't be able to properly hear it now, but it'll only start playing, as I said there, when the timer goes off. So guys, also please, with the sound, check to see whether your instruction says put in a sound after something, or you need to put in a sound just on its own. Okay, now guys, that has basically been majority of the stuff that we are going to be doing, and that covers everything that we will be doing in the exams. Okay, now guys, please, as I've said to you guys a lot of times, especially when it comes to coding, the coding is very, very specific. Okay, if your instruction says, like here with the timing, put it after something, you need to make sure that it is after and it falls in the same block. Okay, if you're not going to do it like that, your coding is going to be wrong and your program won't work the way that it is supposed to. Okay, so please guys, it is very, very important that during the exam you read the instructions. Please read the instructions. Okay, now guys, if there are still things that you are unsure of, or you are not really 100% sure on how to do it after you've watched this video, please come to me or send me a message on Google Classroom so that I can help you guys, so that we can make sure that you guys know everything that you need to know and that you will be able to pass your exams. Okay, so guys, good luck for the exams. I hope it goes well, and then I'll see you guys in class. Bye.